Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 93 of the Casual Weebs podcast. An absolutely insane week. Too much, to be honest. We have absolutely too much anime dropping right now that is honestly unbelievable. It's seriously so good. And to think that we had Sent This to Be a Hero on break this week, and we don't even have animes like Frieren yet. We haven't even fully gotten into the winter season yet, which is absolutely baffling. It blows my mind. Some of the animes that we've been watching and talking about is Hamon's B-Side, Sent This to Be a Hero, Golden Kamui, Hana, Kimi, JJK, Fire Force, Fate, In the Clear, Moonlit, Dusk, and Hell's Paradise. We're talking about 90% of those this episode, which is going to be an absolute blast. But out of all those animes, there's not a single one that I'd be like, hey, let's just wait. Let's just let it have its season and then just binge it. I need every single one of those new episodes the second they drop. They are all so unbelievably good. We have been so blessed with some incredible animes returning, and in such huge ways. Hell's Paradise, it's fucking back. Fire Force, it is fucking back. JJK, fucking 2 episodes for the premiere. The NFL's posting about it. The NFL's like, hey, yo, hour-long premiere? This is insane. Everyone's like, yo, you know ball? You know JJK? You're on that grind? Absolutely insane. But then these premieres are so fucking good. I love that we had, such a fun time talking about a lot of them, Tom's B-Side and shit last week. Bro, people were absolutely loving those and, relating to it. I was so hyped about it. And it's dude, it is so fucking good. Again, God bless the animes that are dropping dubbed, because that just makes it so much easier to especially, binge a lot of this shit, because we just have way too much. But I'm absolutely loving it. To start, what do you want to talk about? Which one do you want to start with?
I was so excited for Hell's Paradise, honestly.
Yes.
As soon as it comes on, you got that classic Mappa intro with the motorcycles and stuff. I'm like,
I didn't know I missed
dude,
it.
We are so back.
The second I saw it, I'm like, oh, dude, it was low key. It was when you're a kid and you're just sitting down on the weekends and it's EA Sports. It's in the game. It's it felt the same fucking way, and I'm just yo. We really are back. And in full Hell's Paradise fashion, episode starts, Gabimaru meets up with the other dude, and it's instant on fucking sight, where we're having a straight throwing hands, and it is the most gruesome, gory fucking fight ever. I mean, bro throws any punch, any kick. Gabimaru is just taking chunks of his body out with his fucking mouth. It's what the fuck? He's landing these insane attacks super fast and dodging everything. And as you throw a punch and bro's missing fingers, he looks over and Guidemar just spits that shit out. It's
yo,
what the fuck? Dude, we're back. Hell's Paradise is back. I'm upset, though, that the dub isn't dropping the same time as the sub, because Alejandro Saab, it just doesn't hit the same without him. I'm gonna be honest. That is one anime where I really wanted the dub to drop at the same time, because the English VAs for Hell's Paradise is fucking incredible. But, dude, so fucking good. And the animation is just right there. The fight was phenomenal.
Dude, just like you said, in classic Hell's Paradise fashion, animation was super on point. I feel like everything literally just, hit the ground running right from, minute 1 of this episode. Super cool, and like you said, it was on site. The blonde dude goes at it with Gabimaru. Even the retainer when he fights the dude with one arm, even that was pretty intense.
Dude, he fucked him up.
Yeah, and then he's kind of improving at the same time. He notices he says his center of gravity and stance change. I definitely think that'll be a more entertaining fight than maybe I first thought. But dude, just back in classic fashion, everything about this episode was super cool. And this is definitely one I think I'm most excited for week to week. Super good start to the season for Hell's Paradise.
And the thing too, Gabimaru right now is nerfed. You know what I mean? He forgot about his wife, even saying that, Tao, what's important about it, or Tengen, whatever one it was, it's you need the weak and the strong. And he's missing the strong, which is his wife. His wife always made him stronger and better. So bro's at what, 50% right now, and still belt to ass. Absolutely fucking insane. That also kind of makes me think that pretty soon that he is going to remember and be back to kind of full strength, because his memories are just kind of gone right now because he's been using a lot of that power a little too much. But what's cool is that his village leader, I think, is coming. I thought maybe it was his boys from at home that were going to kind of show up, but the leader's showing up hey, yeah, I forgot something on the island. And it shows Gabimaru, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fucking mess this season. I'm all for it. Dude, you just know that future fight, Gabimaru versus the village leader, is going to be fucking insane. And I'm so here for it. I think it's going to be the end of Season 2. Because like I said, too, I think Season 2 might be the last season. I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy here, because no one has said that. No one has, said that this is the final season. But literally, Hell's Paradise, the manga's ended. It's done. It's been done at 120 chapters. Season 1 was 60 chapters. So I feel like I'm, right to assume that this would be the last season. You assume it's gonna be 60 chapters again, but no one's saying it is. So I have no clue what's going on, but maybe the season ends with those two going at it.
Yeah, I feel like just like the assumption based off the pacing of how fast season 1 moved,
Mm-hmm.
feels like yeah, season 2 could be, like pretty action packed, but also like the end of it. I have no idea. Kind of like you, I
Mm-hmm.
do kind of feel that way, but again, that's just an excitement. Yeah, dude, really excited for that plot point. Like they're sending in those four kind of like ninja where Gabimaru's from, and I think that'll be like really really cool to see. Just like how elite they are, how they fight. Like we know how like ruthless and brutal Gabimaru's fighting style is. So I think this will add like another kind of like dimension to that. Really savage. I think the fights will be awesome. But yeah, that would be like a good kind of like cliffhanger to maybe end season 2 on.
Bro, what's insane too is I love the one dude who made it back. Remember the one guy who was like telling his story? He's like, "Oh yeah, my prisoner died, and I was so sad about it." And then it cuts to him from like, "Thank you for killing him. I can
Thank
go
you.
home. Like, fuck this shit. I don't want to be here. Like, this is dumb. I'm bored." You know what I mean? And they're like, "How did you make it back?" He's like, "You know what? That story's it's not worth telling. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?" And then they like leave. And the guy's like, "Hey, what do you want me to do with this?" And you turn, it's this massive fucking head. It's huge. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even get to show them that." Like, he had to fucking kill
Yeah, I
some...
forgot all about it.
Yeah, some massive sea beast to get back. And he's like, it wasn't brought up. It wasn't a good time to be like, "Hey, look what I got." You know what I mean? Look at my trophy. Bro, so fucking funny. And he's going back. I cannot wait to see more of him. He seems like an absolute character, and I feel like I'm gonna absolutely love him. He's so funny.
Yeah, dude, I'm super hyped for it. I was dying too because he like yeah just casually leaves out this crazy like sea beast that he decapitates, but then he's also like his retainer's like yeah like you're gonna be one of the 4 that goes back to the island. He's like I don't ever remember agreeing to it, but he doesn't really put up much of a fight, which kind of
Yeah.
like tells you he's pretty capable or he's pretty strong. So definitely looking forward to see kind of like these power players for Hell's Paradise. This definitely feels like I think like a higher stakes season compared to season 1, which again you're just kind of getting into the story and like meeting people. But season 2 definitely is off to like a really fast paced start. I feel like.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna be really cool too. Is that like we've kind of brought up Gabimaru lost his memories, and he said he's like I don't remember the mission from the village. Like if I die, they're just gonna send more people. He thinks he's still a part of the village. He forgot that he kind of like was leaving or planning to leave and was imprisoned and was trying to be executed, and then came here through as like a prisoner, as like a criminal. So when his fucking chief leader, his village leader, and his boys show up, he's gonna be like, "Yo, we're allies." Like we might not even see a fight between them. They might just be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, you're one of us. Okay, like follow these orders." And he might be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." You know what I mean? Gabimaru might be a villain this season, which is gonna be fucking cool if that's the case. And also, you gotta feel bad for everybody else because he is going to absolutely fuck shit up. Like he's insane.
Oh yeah, dude. I think this is one of the most like anticipated animes this
Mm-hmm.
season, which says a lot considering like how many heavy hitters there are and like you said, great premieres. Hell's Paradise is gonna be sick. I cannot wait till this like season really ramps up. Even though the first episode was like very action packed, we're back, dude. Hell's Paradise is definitely gonna be really really good.
No, no. Let's talk about like heavily anticipated animes this season. Let's get into JJK real quick. All right, let's get into Jujutsu Kaisen. I started this off being like, there's so much to talk about. I started this off being like, you know what, this is gonna suck, right? Because I was sitting there and I'm looking at Yuji, and Yuji's going like fucking insane, right? He's just out there killing everything, training so hard. The last season, he got like a massive power buff, pretty much. Like he's kind of him, right? And it literally goes. I'm like, yo, he should be like super strong in the season. Like if he's not, I'm gonna be kind of let down because ever since the Shibuya incident, it seems like this guy has been indirectly training, getting stronger, getting better. Because he's just nonstop in conflict, right? He's never left, right? And Choso even says that he's like, it's wow, I knew you were strong when we faced off, but like now you're like a god of war. Like now you've fine tuned yourself. I'm like, all right, yeah, bet he's already getting that flowers. I love it. Then that fucking asshole from the Zenin family shows up. I'm like, oh my god, you just supposed to be strong. How's this guy competing already? Like, fuck this guy, so annoying. But then Yuta shows up and he's like, you're a bitch. Bam! Fucking knocks him the fuck out. Well, like, not really, but you can kind of see that Yuta's like way stronger. Because like, they're comparing him to Gojo. And even kind of says, like, yo, technically I'm stronger than Gojo. I just can't use my powers as efficiently. But Choso fucking goes belt to ass with fucking the Zenin kid. And I'm like, you know what? Like, at first I got annoyed because I'm like, the power scaling's all over the place. When you think someone's OP, there's always someone who's overpowered. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that's gonna make this season so fun because everyone seems too OP, but they all compete. You know what I mean? And there's all situations of where someone's better than that guy. You know, because of the cursed techniques. And I'm like, yo, this is going to be mad interesting, and I'm all for it. And plus, we finally have like, peak Maki. Like we have the Maki everyone's been waiting for. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? The season's gonna be fucking incredible. I have never been more excited for JJK, and the fact that we're getting 24 eps, like, sign me up. I'm all for it.
Let's go. Dude, so hype. Huge JJK fan. The 2 episodes are kind of like what you got in the movie, like
Mhm.
the newer content from the movie. Yeah, like you get a lot through this hour premiere. Naoya, like the scene where he's like just absolutely pummeling Choso and he like hits the hair flick, like moves his hair back. I was like, all right, Mappa, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Super well animated. Choso really came up clutch. I thought his fight was the
Mhm.
sickest. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a little more familiar with Yuta and kind of like how strong he is. We've pretty much been talking about it the whole series that he's
Mhm.
kind of like a parallel to Gojo in terms of strength. But one thing you brought up, kind of like how interesting some of like the fights and techniques are going to be this season. It's not necessarily about like strength, like who, the stronger guy beats the weaker guy, but really like the curse techniques. It kind of like gives them, an advantage, or like if it's more applicable and like useful than somebody else's curse technique. Like we'll definitely run into a few bad guys who have like interesting techniques, but it doesn't necessarily translate to combat that well.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that I think makes JJK's power scaling and like world like pretty cool, but like you said, it can kind of be like weird sometimes. But yeah, the calling games are really really sick. I'm super excited for this series, and I think we'll have like a lot of really heavy hitting moments. But yeah, Maki's reveal was definitely like the highlight for me from these 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'm an anime only when it comes to JJK. So I've, of course, when everyone's talked about Maki the past like what 2 or 3 years, it's just been that Maki, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I see the attraction, boys. I get it. It makes sense, right? So I'm really excited though because I got baited. I don't know about anybody else. Any anime onlys for JJK that like completely fell for it, hook, line, sinker of the Yuta act. I'm like, yo, he got my ass. Like at the end of the Shibuya incident when he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill Yuji. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. He can go fuck himself. What do you
yeah.
mean you're gonna kill Yuji, you piece of shit? I fucking hate you now. I genuinely didn't like him, like in all seriousness. I was like, you know, fuck this guy, you entitled prick. You're gonna come after Yuji? Like, fuck you. Who do you think you are? Because you have a movie? Alright, makes sense. But then in the beginning of this, I'm like, oh, here's fucking Yuta. Fuck this guy. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, thank God, Yuji, you're alive. He's like, Gojo came to me, and he's like, to look after you. I'm like, you know what, this Yuta guy, I knew there was something good about him. You know what I mean? But he was like, when it was like all an act, I'm like, yo, like he straight up got my ass. I was kind of like pissed off that I thought they'd be good buds, and I'm like, the fact he's gonna come kill Yuji, like fuck that guy. Like that's his return. So the fact that like it is an act, I'm like all for it. I'm like, oh, that was fucking amazing. Thank God. I'm like, yo, he got me though. Like he's gonna completely fool the higher ups because he fooled the fuck out of me. I don't know any other anime onlys that were completely like, distracted by that, that completely got baited by that. But yeah, it was embarrassing. He really got me.
Dude, that bonding vow was definitely complete. He did
Mhm.
a very good job there. But yeah, it kind of shows you like how good Yuta's character can be and like kind of the duality. Like we'll see it a little bit more, I think, as the series goes on. But yeah, Yuta's definitely the man. I hated him at first too. Like you're like, all right, bro. Like always compared him to Gojo. Like he's a little cocky, you know what I mean? But nah, Yuta's a good dude. And the fight itself, like between him and Yuji, was pretty. I mean, Yuta was definitely stronger, but I felt like it was
Mhm.
pretty balanced. Like once Yuta like finally is like, all right, I gotta get like serious. Like Rika pops out and he's like, all right, yeah, let's end this real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yuta's sick. The rest of the season, just a ton of really, really good moments. And yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be like super excited for it, especially with like the big premiere. We had the movie. You got 24 episodes. Like, if you're a JJK fan, it's time to eat.
The NFL marketing too was huge. Them like hiring the NFL to like market the season is absolutely fucking insane. I saw multiple teams as well. Because if you don't know what we're talking about, I think it's on Instagram too. I don't have Instagram, so I don't know. But I saw on TikTok they were making like clips of like their team being like just celebrating, just like losing their minds, reacting to a play, and it was like our reaction with the 1 hour premiere for JJK. Because technically it
Yeah,
was 1 hour, because I'm pretty sure in Japan it aired as one episode and it has commercials, so it ended up being an hour. But for us in the States, they broke it into two and took out the commercials, which is why it was an hour. People did rip them apart in the comments, being, "Hey, yo, glad you know JJK, but it's not an hour, bro. Like, it's not a 1 hour."
where's my extra 20 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. And that miscommunication happens a lot. But two fucking things. First of all, I actually don't hate Gojo as much anymore now either, because when I had that epiphany where it's like, all right, everyone's OP, but like that's kind of like JJK, it made me understand Gojo. Like we shit on him a couple of times. A lot of people do, where it's like, oh, Gojo is like this guy who's got a lot of flair, huge ego, super strong, but then has no feats and kind of got slapped. And I was like, oh, like fuck this guy. But it kind of makes sense now because I feel like the hype of Gojo was because he was the only strong guy we met at the time. And it's easy to clown on him because he lost to the second strong guy we meet. You know what I mean? Like, it puts it
Yeah.
in perspective now when we see how strong everybody is and how many strong OP people there are. Like, he kind of got lucky with what he was born with, you know what I mean? Other than the six eyes, there's nothing kind of special about him in that way, you know what I mean? So I kind of like it brings him down to earth, you know what I mean? And then it's like easier not to like clown on him. So I feel like that was a huge thing from this episode that I kind of got because like Yuta was kind of like, yeah, like I have way more power than him. It's just he has a six eye, so he doesn't like waste any of that ability, and it kind of put it into like a Kakashi Naruto situation where I was like, I think I understand Gojo more, and I think I was a bit too hard on him. I don't think he's like a god like we were like initially marketed of him as.
Yeah, I think like his like fight in, we'll just call it season 4. I don't think they'll get there or even close really.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of lays out like better what you're explaining with like Gojo and like being the strongest, which is like a huge theme in Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only guy that we get the same like treatment from as like the audience is Skuna, but he's 1,000 years old. He's like literally the goat, the king of curses, etc. You don't really get that with Gojo until you meet somebody like Yuta or some of these sorcerers from the Culling games that are also like old and reincarnated and stuff that like Kinjaku has talked about. Um,
Also, the
Again, we
Zenin
haven't seen.
family. I mean, that entire family is kind of fucking goated. Maki, I mean, Megami with his fucking shadows. I mean, even this new guy we met, like the old dude who died last season. Like, there's a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, we've met a lot that are like, oh, yo, fuck, they are very strong, you know what I mean? And it was even talked about last season with like Megami versus Gojo. If Megami was at full form, could he rival Gojo with the shadow thing? And it was like, damn.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the fighting, like from here on out, does kind of like give you a clue and explain a little bit about that. Which, like, yeah, you're pretty much like right on the money, but um, it'll take a little bit, I think, to kind of like, at least from an anime standpoint, fully appreciate like Gojo, how talented he was, and like literally how OP he is. And I think you especially see it when Skuna kind of like comes into the main picture as like the true main villain of the series.
Yeah, it's I cannot wait for it. I'll say that. I'm hyped for it. I can't wait. But the second thing I wanted to bring up too is also Choso. I think Choso is honestly like hands down like the Choso fan club is fully commenced. I fucking love that character. Okay, I think it is he's the by far the best JJK character and one of like my top anime characters ever. His design is sick. I absolutely love his like character like in itself. Like everything about Choso I think is so brilliantly designed. I love how we're introduced to him as a villain, right? He's fucking badass, kind of whoops Yuji's ass, but then we have the plot twist where it's like they're brothers, literally fucking brothers, not like bros, actual fucking brothers. You know what I mean? And now we get him as like the good guy, but like he wasn't inherently bad. He was just trying to like get revenge for his dead family members, his fucking other brothers. He's the fucking oldest of 9. What a family! Like that Thanksgiving's got to be a fucking mess. But you know what I mean? Now we have him like where he's like, oh, like you're not my enemy. We're actually like bros. Like this is awesome. Now we get like those interactions, which I absolutely love. When they're like, yo, who is this guy? And he's like, he's my older brother. He's like, Yuji! And it's like, yeah, they're related. Like, absolutely love him. One of the best designed characters in anime. The best.
Dude, and the legend of Choso just goes on to like the very, very, very end of the story. He's
Mm-hmm.
so good. I agree with you. I think just from like a character standpoint, but also a design standpoint, he's like what makes Jujutsu Kaisen one of the best animes out there. He's awesome. I think even the story of like how they're brothers and how Kenjaku like is involved
So
with that is
good.
just an incredible bit of writing, and like their fight ends up being a lot more meaningful after the actual fight
Mm-hmm.
itself, and like kind of how the story itself brings them together and like unravels the lore behind their family. I'm just like, damn, like Akutami really is a really good writer. And again, it does kind of help to have that manga, like the complete story, right? Like,
Yeah.
beginning to end, like, so it does help having that like foresight or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just a very good example of why Jujutsu Kaisen I think is like a top tier anime or manga right now.
The more I get into it, the more I love it. I didn't like it at first. Well, not that I didn't like it. It's just that I was like, I like Chainsaw Man more. I watched Chainsaw Man first. You know what I mean? Watched JJK. I'm like, oh, this is sick. And then it was like Mappa chose the favorite child, right? They chose JJK,
Yeah.
ignored Chainsaw Man. I'm like, yo, like, can we stop with JJK? Can we like go back to Chainsaw Man for a second? You know what I mean? That's what's kind of like, yo, that sucks. And then of course, it was told weirdly, right? Because you have season 1, but then you have the movie, which is before the first season, and then you have the first part of season 2, which is also before that. And it's like, bro, like the pacing was like weird, like the watch order per se. So like now that I keep watching it and stuff, like that's why I was like it's good, I enjoy it, but it's like, is it the greatest? No, but like now, yeah, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is actually just is fucking incredible. Like it is so fucking good, not only from a fight point of view, but like from a story point of view, because a lot of like animes, they always have like a mystery behind the main character's family, right? It's always some little thing. This by far has to be the greatest, like, oh, here's his parents, like, moment, you know what I mean, or story. It's so fucking cool, so insane, and so twisted. The fact that he was Yuji's mom is fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, what are we doing, guys? What are we fucking doing? Like, when it comes to main character, family, story, plotline, this is the best one. There is no better one. It is fucking insane.
Yeah, dude, just crazy work. But like when you stop and think about it, like as you get super deep into the story, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, like that was pretty well written.
Yeah.
Again, like I definitely get what you mean. Like the beginning of JJK is kind of slow or like doesn't seem like as exciting as like the hype maybe makes it out to be. But again, like I think a lot of that like manga hype and like full story knowledge kind of like plays into that. But I think from here on out, JJK is like really showcases what makes it so great.
Yeah, and it's too because like it's not JJK's fault. It's the way that they animated it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when you have like season one, but then you're like, all right, we have the movie that's before season one, really has nothing to do with season one, and then you have the first part of season two that's even before that. It's like, boys, like we're all over the place. It's hard to get that like continuous flow. You know what I mean? But you're constantly skipping around the timeline. I feel like if Mappa went and animated it differently, you know what I mean, where it's actually in order, it would be way easier to like get in the flow of it. When it's like every time I try to get into JJK, it kind of like threw me off. So I'm like, wait, where in this timeline is it? Especially from an anime only, where you're like, you don't get the timeline. You know what I mean? You're kind of getting thrown to all these different parts. I'm like, oh wait, here's some at this time. Here are these new characters, and it's like, dude, and you spend half the time trying to figure out what's going on a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It does feel a little like rigid and like awkward the way they bounced around in the beginning, but I feel like by now we've kind of come full circle and like what to kind of expect moving forward, but like
Yeah.
the surprises are what makes it really good. So the rest of what season 3 has.
Dude, I'm hyped, and the fact that we're getting 24 eps just makes it even better. But let's talk about something that we waited a long ass fucking time for. It's something that is, yes, very confusing. Fate Strange Fake. Finally, after a year, we have episode 2. What'd you think of it? Was it worth the year wait?
I was like, this is like the perfect Fate series. Like this to me felt like more of the premiere than the first episode. Like the
Yeah.
first episode was very like in like classic Fate fashion, like obtuse. You don't really know a lot about the story or the background or like the circumstances of how we got to this moment in episode 1. But episode 2, I think, kind of like uncovers it a little bit more. I think episode 2 was like a little bit all over the place. Like you're getting characters and like heavy stuff thrown at you basically from like the start. Yeah, and like classic Fate, just a little bit like awkward. Like you really don't have any idea what's going on, but like the animation is just on point. It looks amazing. I definitely think this is like the biggest effort from the Fate franchise in a while. I was very impressed with it. Pretty much any Fate series, like you know about the Holy Grail War, but now we have like a fake one going on. So there's a lot, and I feel like it'll take you to the end of kind of like the season or the series to have a better grasp on like the characters, the masters, the servants, and like everything that's in play.
Dude, it's so confusing because pretty much what I saw a TikTok about that kind of explains this is what's happening is that the Holy Grail War always happens in Japan, right? And magic exists in this world. There's mages. They pretty much are the like masters that are participating in this war, right? So magic already exists, but there's a special kind of magic that can pretty much make a god, right? It pretty much supersedes everything, and that's the magic that is used in the Holy Grail War. So Americans want to study it so they can, achieve pretty much immortality and godhood. So what do? You have a Holy Grail War, so you can study how it works. But there's no like magical ley line strong enough to have one in America. That's why it's always in Japan in like this one city, this one spot. So they're like, okay, well, let's create a fake one. The fake one will then like have the magic. It will kind of like fertilize the soil to then have the real one. The thing is that both are happening at the same time. The fake one kicked off, which then sparked the real one. So you have like masters and you also have like the fighters from both at the same time, which is mad confusing. I think the fake one has 6 and the real one has 7, so it's all over the place. Half of it's artificial, half of it's real, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting it. And then, of course, in traditional Fate fashion, whenever you think you have a grasp on what the fuck is going on, they're like, good one. Now we have dead apostles in this episode. What the fuck's a dead apostle? I'm so fucking confused, bro. And at the same time, I'm excited because he seems like a psycho. He seems sick. And Assassin's fucking awesome. I'm a huge fan. So that is going to be my duo that I'm rooting for. Even though I know they're probably not going to win because Saber, Archer's Archer, you know what I mean? Like Lancer's Lancer. There's of course the favorites. I don't think my team's gonna win, but I'm gonna root for them regardless.
And you got Gilgamesh back in the mix. We
Oh
see
my
him at the
god.
casino and kind of like
Yeah.
that reveal. So yeah, definitely some Fate favorites and some like series classics.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Assassin was really cool. like the Zabania attack is always my favorite. I thought that was sick how they kind of like had a couple different renditions of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, Assassin almost never wins, but very, very sick. And I was surprised that like her master was this dead apostle dude, and like they're actually enemies, even though
I
they're
love
like
that.
super cool. They've never done that in the series, and like that's a really fresh take on like the servant master dynamic or relationship. But again, at first you're like, man, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is a dead apostle? Another like new element in an already confusing franchise, but like at some point they'll explain it, it'll play out. And to me, that's one of the most interesting kind of like aspects of the season this year, like Assassin and her master, and kind of like how that all fits into either the real Holy Grail War or this fake one that they've got coming.
Dude, like, and that's one thing that like you brought up, like in past Fate series, it's always been like you have had the cool like interactions between master and servant, right? The person and the warrior, right? This one's just taking it to a whole nother level as well, because yeah, we have this badass fucking assassin. We're introducing this dead apostle that's also a master, and they fucking hate each other. Assassin's like, yeah, no, you're my enemy. You're a fucking abomination. I'm gonna fucking kill you. We've never had something to that extent where like they're genuine enemies. Like Assassin really wants to fucking kill him, and he is madly in love with her, based but madly in love with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really insane. But also Gilgamesh has always been someone where it's like, I'm above everybody. You're right. You should be blessed to breathe the same air as me. Like, lick the ground I walk on. You know what I mean? But in this series, he's like, oh, a child. A child is his master, and he's nice to her. You know what I mean? He's kind of like, yo, your childhood is precious. You know, I'll protect it. You know what I mean? Like, you, of course, you know, bow down to me. I am the great Gilgamesh. But he's like, you know, you're in a casino. This place is awesome. You know what I mean? Don't look so scary. Don't be so nervous. Like, look excited. Like, look around and, like, take it in. Like, the all of it all. And it's like, that's like a side of Gilgamesh that's actually, like, really kind of cool to watch this season. Is that, like, it's like a good side of him, like a soft side of him. Like I'm all for it. Like, dude, the masters and their servants, like interactions and like relationships this season are going to be so fucking good. Because the one with like Saber is going to be great too. Because like, she doesn't even know that she's a master, and like her servant seems really fucking cool and can apparently hear voices. I know people who know the series are gonna know what that's about, but like, what's with the voice in his head? Like, that's gonna be a cool kind of thing we're gonna learn. But this season's gonna be incredible if we can figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll take a few episodes, but I agree. I'm really excited for it. That's something I'm like definitely going to be
Mm-hmm.
watching every week. And something we've brought up many times in the past is like sometimes it's easier to binge in anime. So like I could see Fate being one where like you might put it off, to the side or till you have more time or whatever, and like binge a full season because Fate can be like really confusing. But I'm super excited for it. I'll be there every week. And yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how kind of like the storylines play out. But as with every Fate series, you want to see like what servants win and the hype and the battles and all that. So very excited for it.
The part where I'm excited about is I'm actually excited for this one to be week to week because I watched the episode and I'm like, oh wow, pretty animation, a lot of shit happened. That shit's cool, guys. It's TikTok. What the fuck happened? I need the video explaining. Okay, guys, if you don't know what Fate's about, let me explain what happened in this episode. Like I said, that's what I needed with like I didn't understand that there was a fake war and a real war, and the fake one was to create the real one. Now I do, and of course now I got to hop on TikTok and like, yo, what's with this dead apostle shit? All right, what's with what happened in this episode? So I feel like the TikToks and Instagrams and YouTube reels and stuff that are explain this all is gonna be super important after each and every episode. At least for me, because I'm dumb as fuck. But Fire Force, bro, Shinra fucking did it. He hit Iris, Sister Iris, that motherfucker. What? Most surprising thing of the entire episode, of the entire week.
Dude, and the scene was hysterical too. The way they it literally just like backhands her and then hits you with like a diabolical smile. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
what the hell is my man Shinra doing?
Evil Shinra. And dude, that was a crazy thing too. Maki was about to fuck him up because like when they were gonna have like the alone time where she's like, hey, like can we talk for a second? You see in the back like Arthur's like dragging Maki away, like, yo, like leave them. Because Maki's gonna be like, yo, if he like does something, I'll fucking kill him. Because like that's the thing that like I didn't expect. The end of the last season, or the first part, I guess, this is still technically season 3. It left off with like a very insane cliffhanger where bro wakes up, has blonde hair and earrings. He's like strapped to a bed, like he's an insane person. And we have that insane like montage of like real life shit. And we're like, yo, what the fuck happened? Now we end up figuring out that like he was somewhere else. He was like seeing in the past, and while he was doing that, the evil version, or like the rumors, the stereotypes of him became an actual embodiment. You know what I mean? It became his personality. It was someone else that was controlling his body, and it was like the evil side of him, the evil version that everyone believed him to be. So he was like acting out, saying and doing all this crazy shit, has tattoos, you know what I mean? Did something that awful where like he hit Sister Iris, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, what is going to go down with that? Because we're also seeing too that Benny Morrow, the goat, is also having dreams and he doesn't really know how to like deal with it. You know what I mean? So of course, I hope in the next episode they meet up, they talk, we kind of get some more information. But wasn't the same plot twist where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, like evil Shinra's kind of running things for a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to get that context because at the end of like last season, you're kind of like, yo, what the fuck is all that about?
Yeah.
But yeah, super funny to see Shinra's reaction to like waking up, having tattoos and piercings, and like having dyed his hair. Like he even says like, why would you make me look like a delinquent? Basically. So that was
Poor
super
Rentaro,
funny.
bro.
Yeah, dude, that was my first thought, dude. Oh, what? He's got to be a delinquent because he has blonde hair, like Sakura with the white and the black.
Yeah.
But super funny. Like I think Fire Force will be dope this season. But yeah, the whole doppelganger thing, I didn't really, you don't like totally understand it until you kind of see that like moment like in a Dala, and like you see Burns, you see Shinra, you see like the other like major players, and kind of like that evil side of it or like that doppelganger of it. So like by the end of the episode, you're like, oh, there it is. You know what I mean? Like the light bulb kind of came on. But yeah, at first like, and it was pretty funny too. Arthur is the one who like
Yes.
totally like figures it out and gets it. Shinra's like,
Immediately.
man, isn't it great to have like good friends? And they're like, well, if we were friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, super funny. That part had me dying.
Bro, that's like a touching thing too for this episode where like Arthur comes in, he's like, oh yeah, this is the normal one, he's back, and everyone's like, yo, like you were right, because like Arthur's a dipshit. His entire power is believed on like is delusion. It's the more delusional he is, the stronger he
Yeah.
is. Like he's dumb as fuck, and it actually makes him strong. It's insane. But like him of all people to be like, oh yeah, that's not Shinra. Like when we look at the flashbacks of him being like the quote unquote delinquent, like the rogue Shinra, like dude, he knew it instantly. He's like, yeah, no, this isn't the real guy. You know what I mean? Like that was touching. That was sweet. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, really good. Again, I think like just the build up for this season will be really good. I think you'll have moments like this where like you're kind of preparing for that final season feel. Like it's gonna move pretty quick too. Like I don't think people are necessarily ready for it, but dude, it is gonna be awesome, and I'm super super excited for it.
See, I'm the opposite though. Like if I'm ranking all the animes from this season, like the early rankings, I had to put Fire Force at the bottom simply because of what I heard with the 88 chapters in 12 episodes, and it's not like we're
Oh
dealing.
shit!
It's not like we're dealing with simple shit here. Like this part of the story,
Yeah,
especially, is getting very complicated. Like lore wise, of like everything going on, and if they aren't able to like explain that easily, I feel like a lot of people are gonna get lost. You got to think, what is Fire Force known for? It's fights. It's the insane animation, the audio. Like how are you gonna balance that? I feel like it's gonna be it's gonna be fate. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You're confused as shit, but hey, it looks cool. Like those fights are pretty fucking awesome. So that's the only
yeah,
part where like this season I'm like, yo, I am very worried going into it because I feel like I'm gonna get lost very quickly and easily. Like it's gonna be mad confusing. But hey, what if they're able to do it? 88 chapters and 12 eps. It'd be impossible the first time ever. But like, I don't know. I feel like this is the toughest season to do something like that.
yeah, and you hate to see that. We did touch on this last week. You
Yeah.
did bring that up. But yeah, I mean that's like almost double pace for like what's normal. So
Yeah.
like for sure some stuff's gonna get cut out or left out or like conversations will be skimmed over, if you will. But it'll still be sick. I
Yeah.
definitely did forget about that, but like hopefully like they pace it appropriately as best they can and like the important like key parts aren't really skimmed over.
I mean, as long as you can keep the story, still like understandable, you should be fine. Like that's one thing again I'm worried about because like it's like Fire Force is pretty complicated with everything going on. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of shit. You know what I mean? So if you're able to find a way where you're able to cut stuff out, but you keep all the important stuff of like okay, you're able to keep up with it, we're set. And so far, episode one, I'm not against it. Episode one felt good so far. You know what I mean? I wasn't lost. It was still pretty cool. Still some good moments, and I was hyped with it. So if we can like keep it going, I'm loving it.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to like kind of wait and see, but yeah, that is definitely something to kind of like keep your eye on, especially if you've read the manga. But if not, you're not really gonna know, and like hopefully it just doesn't detract from like the overall story.
Yeah, 100%. But last one we're talking about this week. What did you think of it, Hana Kimi? I talked about it briefly at the end of last week's ep. I was like, I don't know if I like it because it's dubbed and it's just easier to watch, or if it's just pretty good. Like it's funny, right? No.
Dude, super light and enjoyable, and like
Hmm.
some of the reactions and like internal dialogue is fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it reminds me of like Orin Host High School.
Hmm.
It like the premise is similar, but it is not like the same at all. Like it's definitely very unique and it's its own thing. Bro, you have it in your notes, the blonde guy being like, I shouldn't feel this way. It's a guy, but I'll be gay for him if that's what it takes to like stick up for him. I was literally dying. Super funny.
That's like the best thing is that like last week I brought that up. I'm like, oh yeah, like there's this blonde guy, Ostis VA for the English dub. You know what I mean? It's one of the best
Yeah.
parts is that he like his subconscious is like they know is it's like that's a girl. You know what I mean? And he's fallen in love with her, shit like that. But consciously he's like, no, that's a guy. Like I'm like thinking these things, but I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Like that's a guy. It's not a girl. Why am I worried about an indirect kiss? Why is that making me throw in the shower? Like, why do I care about him being naked? Like, that's weird. That's weird, right? And it's funny because the entire third episode was only that. It was only that. It was every 5 seconds he was like getting jealous of like him hanging out with another guy and like being naked in the shower or whatever the fuck it is, or like fighting with somebody. You know what I mean? And then at the end of it, he's come to the conclusion like, you know what? I'd be gay for you. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking hysterical. Like this poor blonde guy is going through it, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, super entertaining. And like, we finally got to that point because by the end of the third episode, I'm like, as fun as it is, like, is he going to get back into like long jumping? Like, are we going to
Mm,
like progress on that front? And like, they do lock in. So I think by the end of like the third episode, you're like, all right, I'm going to need a little more here. So like, I'm really excited to see kind of where it goes forward and like how their relationship is. Izumi and the MC. I think that's what his name is. I could be wrong, but like, kind of that like the two main characters,
mm.
how they progress, but also like if he gets back into jumping again.
So that's what I'm really excited about. It's because it's like, yeah, like first two episodes, it's nice. It's a good premise. You're all for it. Great characters, right? Building a nice environment. It's cute. It's funny. It's nice. It's enjoyable. You know what I mean? But it's like, where's it gonna go? And I think the third episode really established that, right? The blonde guy, he acknowledged his feelings. He's come to terms with it. He's made his decisions, right? We end up finding out that the nurse is also related to the pretty fuckboy who's the RA, which is an interesting thing that we're going to be looking into, the rest of the season as
Yes.
well. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't see it before. Like, yeah, it's there. Like, you see them being related. Now we kind of see that, like, what was his name? You said Izumi, but I think it was like Zeno too. Whatever his name is, the black-haired guy that Mizuki's roomed with, like, he's like, yeah, you know what, like, fuck it, I'm getting back into high jumping, I'm getting back into track and field, you know what I mean? Moving forward, we're going to be getting more of the sports side of it, and that's going to be awesome, that's going to be so cool, the pressure of him competing again, but also Mizuki competing, she's really talented at the high jump as well, so we're going to see them, like, interacting there, but also, he said it, that's a girl. Like, he's not wondering anymore. He's not curious. Like, he knows, like, Mizuki's a girl pretending to be a guy. You know what I mean? Because when he snaps at his, like, childhood friend, and he's like, yo, like, fuck you. Don't you dare raise your hand at somebody. He's like, why doesn't she get, like, why I did that to her? You know what I mean? Like, he's saying she. You know what I mean? Like, he knows that Mizuki's a girl. So that side of it's gonna be interesting too, and I'm hyped for that. I cannot wait. It's like, yo, we've like taken direction, and now episode 4 onwards is gonna be just perfect, and I'm all for it.
Dude, yeah, I'm super excited. And it's like kind of subtle, you're right. Like he doesn't come out and like directly be like, yes, like I know for a fact that's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But like you see it in a couple instances, and at the end of the episode too, he's like, oh, she's with that womanizer. Well, like obviously he wouldn't care if it was like
Mm-hmm.
two dudes, but there's like subtle bits of dialogue where you're like, oh yeah, no, he doesn't definitely know like it is, or he definitely knows it's a confirmed fact. He
Yeah.
knows Mizuki's a girl. So yeah, I think episode 4 will kind of like really start to take us off, and I'm excited to see where it goes because there's a lot of potential, like you said, with the high jump and kind of like the whole track and field aspect.
Dude, it's gonna be so good. And that's what I'm talking about. This season is like so fucking enjoyable. Like these premieres we got are just like, oh, dude. One I forgot to bring up that we definitely got to get into now, especially like pivot right into, because it's like kind of similar, but like really good in its own way. In the clear moonlit dusk, it completely escaped my mind. Like that's another one too. Like we got some prince on prince romance going on here. You know what I mean? That one was surprisingly wholesome as fuck too. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this season is so insane because everything coming back is just like it's what I needed. You know what I mean? I didn't know I had that itch until it's been scratched. Like especially with the golden kamui being added in there. It's just so fucking
Yeah.
good on top of all those we talked about. But then these premieres, like Send Us to Be a Hero, like holy fuck, what a start. But like Taman's B-side, Hana Kimi, what's it called? In the clear moonlight dusk, they're all like these feel good, like romance, kind of cutesy, funny, like animes that are like, yo, it's like it's nice. You know what I mean? It's that, especially compared to everything we're getting back, where it's like, oh yeah, fucking just dude animes. It's fucking shonen. It's fighting. It's like fuck yeah. You know what I mean? We have these other ones to kind of balance it out. Like in the clear moonlight dusk. What did you think of it? I thought it was sweet. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was like really cute. I think it could be really good. I
Hmm.
thought like the flirting and progression of the two characters moved super quick.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, it'll be interesting to see like if they start dating and it kind of goes that route, or really how they like move forward. Because I mean, for just one episode, like they were getting pretty like close pretty fast. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, you're totally right. Like you have all these heavy hitters, like the bro animes, the shonens that you know most of us absolutely love.
They're so
You have like
good.
these so good. They don't miss. But you also have like a really good balance of like feel good romance, maybe some fantasy stuff mixed in that feels fresh when you have like all of these kind of like heavy hitters coming back, like you were saying. But yeah, Moonlit Dusk, I think is going to be really cool. The animation and like art style is enjoyable, but it'll be interesting to see like how quickly things progress because I felt like episode one was pretty like they moved pretty quick.
Well, it was funny because she's like, oh, people just look at me as like the prince, the hero. Like, why am I never the princess? You know, what the fuck's with this? Why do you guys always compare me to like being a guy? Like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? And then you have this dude who's like the other prince per se, the other guy that they call a prince. And he's like, oh yeah, you're cute as fuck, and starts like flirting with her, and then she's like, God, like, stop, I don't like this. It's like you just wanted that. You just said you wanted that, bro.
Yeah.
You have someone thinking as a princess, and you're like, no, stop. I fuck this. This is weird. I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to fucking react. I'm like, you just wanted that, like, oh, dude. But like, that's like so fucking funny in the first episode that we had that like, all right, this girl who's like very prince like has all the girls like just drooling over her, getting presents and shit like that, and being like, "Yo, I just want to be the princess. I just want to be the heroine," and then gets that and is like, "Actually, I don't know." And then I absolutely love the other prince, the white-haired dude. Like, I don't even know. Like, he reminds me of the guy from Sign of Affection. And that anime is fucking awesome. I believe it's not getting a season two. So if this can replace that anime in my heart, I'm all for it. I'm loving it.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! I'm excited to see where it goes. I think there's a lot of potential there, and it's again something that even with just one episode, I think stands out in a very crowded and competitive season. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, I think there's a lot of like funny moments that we could really enjoy and kind of balances out the other stuff in the season. So I'm hyped, man. Moonlit Dust definitely had a very good first episode.
Dude, it's just simply how are we gonna watch all of these animes every week? But then how are we gonna talk about all these animes every week? Like, dude, like
I know.
it's insane how we're getting like episode ones here, and like a lot of animes were kind of like thrown to the side because of the what was it? The planning, the arrangement of last week's episode because I had stuff kind of going on, made it so we didn't have to talk about Timon's B side this week because we had talked about both episodes last week. We haven't gotten the new episode yet. Right, so this week here was on break for one. It was just like we haven't gotten Fearin yet. It's like, dude, when we're in full swing too, and like these are just episode ones, like little reactions. You know what I mean? Like when the story develops and you have those key moments, it's like, how do you talk about everything? We're gonna have like 4 hour podcast episodes because it's just like
I know.
so fucking good. I don't know what we did to deserve the season. I'm glad for it. Yeah, no complaints here.
Salute cinema.
Yo, 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 yes, the Tamsy one. Like I can deal with this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
dude.
But dude,
That's so good.
it's just like I'm here for it. Like this is absolutely insane. The greatest start to a year you can possibly imagine. 2026 got to be good. No, it's got to be pretty good.
So good, dude. I'm so hyped. So many great new ones. I mean, like classic animes that like I think are some of the best out there. Yeah, dude. Like you said, I don't know what we did to get such a good season, but 2026 is off to a perfect start.
All right, I gotta ask you one of the toughest questions. One of like, it's a dumb question, right? It's a dumb question, but to kind of end off here, right? If you have to pick, very early on here, so far, like week one, week two here, what would be your number one? What's your favorite?
I'm super excited for Fate. I go way back with
Okay.
Fate. Obviously, being like a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan, it's easy for me to kind of go that route. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm really leaning into Fate because I think this is one of like the bigger what's the right word for it? Like this is like the biggest effort I think from the franchise in a while. Like they've come out with different series, but like you have all the heavy hitters and like storyboard guys or storyboard team rather on this Fate project, and like we've talked about many times, like it was pretty much delayed for a year without them really saying it.
Yeah.
So I think they've really tried and kind of gone back and like made updates and edits and stuff to try and make this kind of like their best effort in the series in a while. So for me, my too early to tell, I'm gonna guess Fate Strange Fate. What about you?
I feel like Fate this year is all roads lead home. I feel like every project is sinking and seeping into this one. You know what I mean? You're getting like heroes and you're getting the masters and the servants from like all the past seasons, and it's all leading up into this, which I think is gonna be fucking awesome. Especially if you've watched all of the Fates, you're up to date, and you have a really good understanding of it. Like this is the end all be all. This is the one. This is the holy grail of the Fate series. You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
agree with you. I think it's gonna be really cool. For me, I gotta say, so far early on, and this is tough. If Hell's Paradise was English dub right now, I'd say Hell's Paradise. I gotta say JJK. Maybe it's because it has
Yeah.
the two episodes that came out at once that kind of just like beautifully blended together. But the fact that they got my fucking ass with the Yuto one, gotta apologize. I'm sorry, dude. You
Yeah.
fooled me. You. I'm sorry I said bad things about you. You know what I mean? We already have some sick fights, some great lore, the Choso moments. It's just like it checked every box so far, and I'm just like, you got me with the feel good moments, the comedy, the fights, the lore, the animation. It's just so well rounded. The first two episodes of JJK, they really. You know what? We dropped a video a couple weeks ago talking about 2025, the entire year of anime, and we kind of talked about it in like the award kind of sense, but we didn't want to like give any one of them a specific award. We wanted to kind of praise the amazing year we had. I brought up that when it comes to anime of the year, I think the most popular was Solo Leveling season two. The best overall was To Be Hero X, and my favorite was Gachakata. I think JJK this year is going to be in the same boat as Solo Leveling season two, right? It is going to by far like break the fucking internet. You have the NFL fucking marketing it, so you're taking it very serious worldwide, right? But usually they don't care outside of Japan. Like, fuck it. Like, they're going out of their way to get people to know about JJK. You know what I mean? We don't see a lot of marketing for animes. So all eyes are on JJK this year. You have an arc that is going to absolutely blow people's fucking minds. You're giving it 24 episodes, and you're putting this much into it, like in the first two episodes. I think JJK is going to be this year's like most popular anime. It is going to carry the weight of the year on it, anime wise.
Yeah, and like I think the kind of like second part or there's not really a good word. The sequel to JJK, like having a really popular manga, it's
Mm-hmm.
really good. It's not supposed to be that long. I think that kind of helps too. So like you're still kind of like constantly, like you said, getting inundated with JJK, manga and anime and like the NFL and like major organizations are promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I do think it'll probably be one of the most popular. It'll at least be nominated at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I definitely think this season with the twists and turns will be one of the biggest, if not the most popular.
Yeah, and it's so hard too because like I said, like there's none of these animes that I'm like, oh yeah, like I can wait till the end of the season and then just binge it. You know what I mean? Like just to free up space. Like I every single one of these animes, I need the next episode like right now. Like if that could be, we could just drop
Yeah.
full seasons. That'd be pretty. If they all dropped full seasons, I'm taking 3 days off and I'm just watching every single one of these to completion,
Yeah.
and then maybe some of them again, like a second time around. Like so fucking good. Each and every one of these, phenomenal. So let us know in the comments down below. What so far is your like favorite out of all of them? And again, I think this weekend we are getting Fear in. So I mean,
Let's
thank you.
go.
I'm so hyped. But anyways, is there anything else you want to add about this insane start to 2026?
Dude, just hit the ground running. Like,
Yeah.
even right from the beginning, it's been awesome. So I'm really excited to see where they all go. And kind of like what stands out for me is like in such a competitive and packed season, like what makes me, the most excited or what I enjoy the most. So I'm super pumped.
Dude, it is going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch it. I cannot wait to talk about it. Because I feel like this is like the best part too. It's just like bouncing the thoughts and be like, oh, yo, do you see that moment? It is like, listen, watching anime is the greatest. But what's even better is sharing those moments, sharing like those series, sharing those characters, sharing everything about it. It is so much fun to talk about, to joke about, and to really get into. And I feel like this season is just the perfect season for that because we also love to put on our tinfoil hats and be like, oh, here's what we think is going to happen. And there's so many animes that have those plot lines that are like perfect for our fucking delusional thoughts. So, what a year.
Dude, so good. I cannot wait. We're off to an awesome start, and I think
Mhm.
this will be one of the best seasons people, like anime fans, have ever had, like of all time.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So again, let us know in the comments down below. What are you most excited for each and every week? I know it is stacked. I know there's multiple animes, but what is that one that's just a little bit more than the other ones that you're just waiting for that new app? But anyways, guys, Hope you guys are having a blast right now. Hope you guys are excited for what is to come, especially for Freerun. I'm stoked about that. But that's it. Have a great week, guys, and peace.